Thanks for staying with us. Still on to Good Morning Nigeria live on the network service of the NTA. As a prompt for our conversation on fuel tanker explosions, let's take the background report by Joseph Osen.
The use of tankers to transport petroleum products have been the most reliable in accessing different parts of Nigeria, especially remote areas. But this same dependable means of transportation has also led to lots of tears. The tears are pouring out from recurrent fire and explosion from petrol-landed tankers, leading to many casualties, several environmental pollution, and large economic losses. The country is still counting losses on the two recent major fuel tanker explosions in Rivers and Ogun states few days ago. Rivers State government confirmed 5 deaths and 120 vehicles burned when the tanker navigating the dilapidated east-west road around Eleme was hit by another heavy-duty vehicle, igniting flames and explosion. Another gas tanker accident led to an explosion along Eta, Oshi, in Abeokuta, Ogun State, claiming 4 lives, with about 6 vehicles razed. Houses and shops in the area were also affected. Investigations show that the country lost nothing less than 100 lives to gas and tanker explosions in 10 months, from January to October 2020. These are just few out of the many other incidents that have occurred across the country in recent times. Most of the accidents are blamed on recklessness on the part of the tanker drivers, poor states of the vehicles and roads. In some instances, attempts by nearby community members to scoop petroleum from accident tankers are said to have ignited fire and explosion. Though in most cases, government compensate victims, many have argued that not much have been done to curtail these menaces in terms of holding those responsible accountable, enforcing of road traffic regulations, and sensitizing the public on mitigation. The increasing cases of fire and explosion of petrol-landed tankers in the country is a clear sign that authorities concerned still have a lot to do towards prevention. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria will speak to causes and preventive mechanisms in view of the frequent petrol tanker explosions in the country.
Joseph Otseng, thank you for the background report on fuel tanker crashes, which of course usually lead to explosions and loss of lives. And we have right here in the studio to discuss this frequent issue with us, Honey Ogundayo, and she's the Deputy Corps Commander, Public Education of the Federal Road Safety Corps. We're glad to have you with us.
Thank you. Good morning.
We also have here with us Yusuf Lawal, and Yusuf is the President, Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, NATO, and he joins us live here in the studio. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers.
Also joining us via Zoom from Rivers State is Blessing Wikina, former Chief Press Secretary to former Rivers State Governor. Thank you for joining us on the program. Okay, all right. So while we wait for the Zoom to steady, maybe we should just start our conversation with the president of the Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, Yusuf Lawal. What would you say is responsible for the recurrent? Because you are the president of the of NATO, and your people are the one involved in all these crashes. What do you think is responsible for all these crashes?
Well, let me use the opportunity and condole and commiserate with the government and people of Rivers State, Ogun State, as well as Nigerians. It's unfortunate development, but I must tell you, It's not unconnected with the nature of the roads that these trucks, fly. As much as possible, there could be, some people could say is the vehicles, the trucks, but I don't want to believe so. But the major problem, as far as we are concerned, is the condition of the roads. If you go to the one that happened in Port Harcourt, you see the condition of the road. Even if you have a brand new truck and a trailer, that is the head and the tank flies, there are a lot of potholes. You will see the driver has to dangle around, and in the course of dangling around, there are other vehicles, close by, and so many things can happen. And impatience of other motorists. You see, Nigerians should understand, the general public who fly roads regularly should understand, when you see a tanker, it's already from the tanker you see highly inflammable. So you should know there is possibility of danger, there is possibility of fire. And unfortunately, we have to realize the fact that we have today. Fuel is distributed in this country 100% by trucks. And with the condition of the roads, there are a lot of issues. Fatigue of the driver, impatience of other road users, condition of the road. All this, when you sum them all up, they lead to such kind of crashes. Notwithstanding that, you find sometimes a truck will fall down or will crash. And it may not necessarily spill, it may not necessarily open, but the general public will force it open and will scoop fuel, thereby leading to fire. So all these things, when you sum them all up, as far as I'm concerned, they are the causes of these crashes.
You have not even touched on your members at all. Anyway,
because he has told you, he talked about fatigue. Well, fatigue on the part of his members, but I know you want to drill him a bit further.
Okay, just go ahead with your question.
Thank you. Let's really establish, before we bring in the Deputy Corps Commander, who probably will have a detailed analysis of the cause and effect. I want to bring in Blessing Wikina. Okay, he's not ready because the frequency of these tanker crashes, especially along the east-west road in Rivers State, but particularly the Element Junction, is a cause for concern, it's a cause for worry. And the recent incident in that area is also, worrisome. But before we take him on, do you have updated data on the likely causative factors for the frequency of tanker crashes on our roads?
Thank you very much. Let me also, on behalf of the Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety, Dada Ali Biu, to commiserate with all the people that are involved in these unfortunate crashes. Let me say, people of Rivers State, Ogun State, and Nigerians generally. It's something that breaks our heart, because when you see people, lives being lost on the highways, is so pathetic. So the unfortunate incident that you're talking about, yes, we have some data about it and the causes of the crashes. Part of the things we've noted with time is that of fatigue that he has also mentioned, that drivers, they want to drive throughout. They don't need that there's resting time. There is this policy that after driving for about 4 hours, there is need to rest. No matter where you are going, no matter who you are. Then we have also seen that most of the motor boys, at times, they tend to become the driver. At times, they just come and pick the vehicle, maybe from the driver, maybe the driver is tired or something. A motor boy that is not really licensed to drive can also be a causative factor. Then also, we have also seen that some people, because of impatience on the road, everybody wants to act with the other. You want to say, maybe, for example, a vehicle wants to overtake another one. Then you say, how do you want to overtake me? Then you see the struggle on the road. And then speeding at times is also part of it. All these things we have come to see that if everybody is careful, and also maintenance of the vehicles, the calibration, everything, make sure that the vehicle is in good condition. Because talking about the road, thank God the government is repairing most of the roads now. But if the road is not good, you are aware that the road is not good, then you need to be very careful while driving on such roads. So all these things put together, we have seen that are the main causes of the crashes.
He stressed on the quality of the roads, and for him, he probably would give, that as a major contributory factor. But you have downplayed that.
Well, what I'm saying is that, if you look around, you see that there are so many constructions going on, meaning that government is trying to put all these roads in good condition. Then if we have a bad road or we have a good road, just drive safely on the road. Because at times you have seen that even good roads, we have seen crashes on good roads. So what do you say to that?
That's true. We have seen crashes on good roads as well, because of some of the the driving behavior.
Yes,
of
the
most
reckless
of the,
driving.
Yes.
of the drivers. Now let's come back to Lawal now. The issue of the state of your trucks. Most of the trucks, people have complained that most of these trucks are not in good condition, yet you still put them on the road. How do you, educate your members? What kind of trucks do you put on the road, and how safe? Because it's not only about the truck drivers. What about other road users as well? So do you really educate them on the need to have their trucks in proper condition before actually taking the journey?
Well, thank you so much. I want to let you know that it's not the physical look of a truck that determines whether it is good for use or not. Because there are some trucks that are not physically looking good for a long journey, but they could do a local journey. But there are trucks that when you see them, it's just like an aeroplane. You will see a 30-year-old, but he must have gone through all the checks, and he will be certified good. Before your truck goes for loading, we collaborate with the Federal Safety Code. That's what we call a safe to load check. A vehicle will be checked safe to load before it goes to load. And when it loads, it will be also checked before it plies the road. But there are a lot of factors involved in this. Like I told you, in this today, 100% fuel is distributed by trucks. So meaning there is a frequency. And when there are frequency, you will, unfortunately, some of these things happen. And some people are generally impatient. But let me add to some of it. You see, there are a lot of miscreants, non-state actors involved even in some. I'm not surprised if you will see, I will not be surprised if you see a truck lost, for example, in Lagos. Before you leave Lagos, inside Lagos and come out, you will see, you come across so many boys, some even area boys. They will force driver to give them money. If you don't give them money, they will cut the pipe. And if you cut the pipe, no air, no brake. So such kind of, I'm not saying that is one a major factor, but such factors, are there. So you will find that even if you have a brand new vehicle today, by virtue of the situation of the road sometimes, and you see the crowd, people should, because we will have to do more enlightenment. People should know when you see a highly inflammable vehicle, as it is, it's highly inflammable. Therefore, people should be wary. People should be careful. And of course, the drivers are also sensitized. They should be careful moving with highly inflammable product, highly inflammable truck on the road, because the road is not just meant for trucks and tankers. But there are a lot of more other users than the truck. But then the tankers are also doing essential. And you can't shy away from it. Look at the current shortage of fuel. It's not necessarily because there is no fuel. There was a lot of fuel, but there are a lot of logistic issues which other. So if the trucks have to move with a view to clear all these queues. So and everybody should put his hands on deck to ensure all these issues are cleared out. Meaning that the drivers, of course, they are trained. NATO and PTD NUPEM, we train the drivers, we sensitize them, and of course before they go for loading, NATO and Federal Safety Code, that's what we call safety load check. And when you load, there is also journey management plan, wherein you are expected to, prior to loading, be abreast of the situation of the road you are going to fly after loading. But notwithstanding, you'll find some of these issues, not necessarily because, you see, fatigue. When I say driver is fatigue, a driver can load and queue up for 6-7 hours in a particular place. So the issue of waiting after 4 hours does not even arise, because you can load and be in a queue for 6 hours, 7 hours, even inside Lagos, for example, or even in the LMA area. There are a lot of queues and the roads are bad. Driver has to tangle here and there, and apart from him there are other road users who are also in a hurry. When the information available, the Port Harcourt incident, unfortunate incident happened, it was high time. People have closed from work and people were rushing to, so there was a lot of impatience from the driver and from other road users.
So for you, what is the number one cause of the frequent tanker crashes for you?
Well, I would not like to accept there is a frequent tanker crisis vis-a-vis the frequent usage.
Okay, for the tanker crash. Let me
yes.
Wait. Hold on. Let me retrieve the frequent. Let me remove the adjective. What is your number one? What do you see as the major factor leading to tanker crashes?
Well, as far as we are concerned, one, there's impatience from the driver and other road users.
Okay, thank you.
Impatient drivers and road users.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Because when you are carrying a highly inflammable product, you should be aware, you should be careful, but as much careful as you want to be. You need to see the areas. You see that so many depot owners on their own decide to fix the roads leading to the depot and outside. But you see, when you see I don't know whether you've been to the LMA road recently.
Just hold on. Just hold on. Blessing Wikina is in Woji. He's joining us via Zoom from Woji, and Woji is a close proximity to LMA. And Blessing Wikina is very familiar. He's not new to tanker crashes, especially on that east-west road, but most particularly on LMA. Mr. Wikina, thank you for joining us. So from your understanding, can you hear me?
Good morning. I don't know if you can hear me.
Okay, yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, Mr. Wikina. Thank you for joining us. We know you had to punctuate your travel. You had to punctuate your travel to join us for this conversation. But please, quickly, from your experience of tanker crashes, especially at LMA and along the East-West Road, what do you think is the major factor responsible?
Jamie, thanks. Interesting. I have to stop right now at the Abuja East Road axis. When I stopped, my hands and the cameras are even shaking. Clear, the issue on, I think it's not a matter that we'll talk about every day. The deliberate daily blindness. What I mean blindness, I mean blindness of everybody concerned. I was even listening to the conversation you are having. The road, can you hear me? Please, can you hear me?
Where with
the
you?
Road had been, officials had been blind to the issues of East-West Road from a long time ago. I can tell you, in the past years, when I was the chief press secretary to the governor, that road became impassable, and the River State government then wanted to intervene. But there were correspondences from the Federal Emergency Road Management Agency. There were also correspondences from the Director of Works, Federal Director of Works in Port Harcourt, that River State government should not attend to that road, that it's their responsibility because it's a federal road. Now, to avoid what I can call a fight, the governor then, Governor Mechi, pulled out, and the case of the road had remained until now. Again, There are some federal lawmakers. There was a Professor Steve Azaki's delegation. There was also the one by Senator, the then Senator, the senator representing this East. All of them had taken their colleagues to the East-West Road at the very troublesome point. And they had made presentations and they had made inputs and they had sent these things down. That's why I said the East-West Road issue is an issue of deliberate blackness. I mean, how can you have a road that conveys traffic, not just cars, but heavy traffic, to One Oil and Gas Free Zone, the Federal Ocean Terminal, the Federal Lighter Terminal, and also to the two refineries in Port Harcourt? You are blind to it. Is it that the tankers, owners of tankers, and don't have a conversation with the officials that has to do things about this road? That's like describe it as it's a daily blindness to this road. And this particular incident that happened was avoidable. Avoidable in the sense that if there had been, while the contractor is on the road now, if they had created an artery or an alternative route for cars to use, the pressure on the side they are walking on the road might not have, would not be there. And so, as a result of the pressure, based on the fact that contractors on site had narrowed the access at a narrowed stage, and so cars, people, human beings, Nigeria, have a natural reaction. They are bound to struggle to pass. So you cannot lay the blame now on people who are trying to access the road, use the road for their daily encounters and their daily bread. Then, secondly, over the years, people have asked, like I can ask. I said, for instance, every year, annually, you see on the federal budget, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, every year. Now there is the coastal road, and there is what I can call a Guinness World Record payment standard that has just happened. That from the Lagos axis, they are paid compensations over 2 billion naira. It took days, isn't it? So why should the East-West Road? Why should it be that East-West Road is a daily issue? Daily issue that nobody is attending to. And now we are sitting down, comfortable, convenient to discuss what are the causes, what are not the causes. It's simple. It's simple. The disregard or the neglect of the East-West Road had been, in quotes, criminal. And so the response to its immediate restoration or repairs or reconstruction should also, to use the word, criminal. In other words, you should deploy more contractors, deploy more hands, and deploy and get it done. Have a timeline. Have a timeline. When do you want this road to end? It's not enough to say I want that this road will be over in 2024. It's not enough to say that this road is going to be over in the next 1 month. Have a timeline and fix it and get to work. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Okay.
Yes, Demola, you're speaking. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Wikina, for your contribution there. He has actually emphasized the state of the roads, which is the major contributor to these crashes that we are having now. But besides the state of the roads, there are still other factors. And some people have complained that most of the time, the people responsible for checking all these tankers and ensuring that they are in proper shape before they embark on their journey, they hardly do the job. The FRSC is one of the, agency, responsible for this. How often do you, carry out this responsibility?
Okay, thank you very much. In that regard, we have the initiative called Safe to Load, just like you rightly mentioned, and we have our personnel all over the depot, to monitor, to see the way they are loading, and to do all this checklist. We have a checklist, and I want to believe that they do it very well. I said something the other time. I talk about maintenance and other things that happened. These are people, they are the depot, so they see to that. Then while the tankers are going on the road, we wouldn't know what that is, though probably there's some other checks on the road. But, you know, there is one thing that we need to do, or we need to know, is that even after the checks, you know, any other thing can happen along the road.
Yeah.
Just like he said, you know, the vehicles are highly inflammable. And yes, many things happened along the road that I may not be able to say it here. But the right thing is that the vehicles must
Like
be
what?
probably,
Because
we have seen cases
Okay.
whereby, you know, there's a particular capacity that the tanker is supposed to carry. There may be along the road, any other thing can happen.
yeah,
Yes. So all those kinds of things. Then what I'm saying again is that, you know, particularly a driver that started the journey at the point of check may not be the one that will now carry the vehicle to the destination. So all those things, at times, you may not even know, maybe another driver took over from the one that has been checked, the one that you know that is licensed to drive and has the capacity to drive such a vehicle. Then at the same time, do they practice all this rest? Because, you know, after driving, even if you are driving a small vehicle, you know, for a long time, there is need for you to stretch your legs, to come out of the vehicle and take a rest at a safe place. And, you know, we have also heightened our public enlightenment, because we like to talk to people, even just like we said, even small vehicles on the road. How can you be tailgating a vehicle that is carrying such substance? You know, we also take the public enlightenment to all the truck drivers, trailers, because we have seen that even trucks, you know, they cause more mayhem on the road than even trailers. Because just look at the case of this River State. Over 120 vehicles got burnt. So it's
A similar case in Ogun State as well.
Similar case in Ogun State.
But in
It was a
other
very
climes, we don't
sad
have,
situation.
crashes like this often, and you know. But do you have the necessary gadgets to be able to measure? You know, because you know when some of these drivers, some of them are drunk. You understand? You don't even stop them. The way they drive, you just imagine, is this one normal on the road, you know, recklessly and all that stuff? No, and some of them, you know, they don't see well. You hardly see them wearing glasses. So what?
That you hardly see.
Because are you telling me that they have good eyesight? Well, because it's one of the major, you know, causes of these crashes that we're having. And FRSC, you seem not. You just look away from all these things.
No, we don't.
So how come we see them drive with none of them? I've never seen one.
You know, Demola, everything you have just said, yes, boils down to regulation.
Yes.
Is there any appropriate regulation for, you know, these tanker drivers who are driving very flammable, products?
All these commercial bus drivers, none of them, they use glasses. They don't just drive anyhow. And
Okay, just like you rightly asked, we have what we call the digital breathalyzers that we use on them to know. And one of the things I'm also talking about is things that happen on the road. You know, a driver that you have checked at the depot, then when going on the road, he can park and take all these alcoholic drinks that you might not be there again to check him or to correct. But in case we meet them on the road, we use this digital breathalyzers on them to know the ones that are drunk. And if we meet such a person on the road, we stop them from driving at that particular time. You know, we have had cases whereby we have to stop one or two persons and make them to rest. Some people even, you know, they slept off after some time, just to tell you the extent they have gone. Then concerning the issue of glasses, it's also something that have been giving us sleepless nights, let me say it that way. Because we have seen that, why is it that nobody seems to be wearing glasses? Even in people that are driving small buses and small vehicles,
and
you get to garages.
40,
yes, do they want to tell us that? Then, you know, we also have a program on our radio station, National Traffic Radio 107.1, whereby we have a doctor that used to come, and we have been discussing this matter. He said probably those drivers know something that himself doesn't know, because, you know, it baffles us to see that nobody is wearing glasses. And it's not because they don't know. Some people cannot really see well, but they want to prove that maybe they see them wearing glasses, they feel that maybe they are old or something, or they cannot drive again.
That's why we're asking, is there an articulated rules or regulation? Because I remember there was a time when these long vehicles, articulated trucks were not
Yeah.
allowed to move within certain hours, especially
yes.
busy periods when people, you understand, are out there, in the public. I remember there was a time when that rule, was in place, but it's I don't think it's enforced today, because you see these articulated trucks anytime, anywhere. So do we have an articulated regulation that guides these truck drivers on what to do, when to move, how to move, especially in bad roads, that you enforce?
Yes, for now, there are so many things that are going on. For now, the commercial has put so many things in place to see that all these things that we're talking about will be a thing of the past. For example, even now, let me tell you, even now there is a renewed relationship between the FRSC and the Nigerian Bar Association, whereby we want to be prosecuting even all these drivers that kill people unnecessarily on the road. So such laws are being put together, and many other things, because we have seen, when you have used this strategy and it's not really working, giving you results, you have to change. So we have been having so many strategic sections, people brainstorming on how to move forward in all these things.
Okay, let's come to Lawal now.
Yes,
because
I wanted to ask, just in line with, I'm sorry, just in line, because you raised, we've all agreed, raised a number of issues. We've talked about the quality of our roads. We've talked about impatience. We've talked about fatigue. We've talked about you've also recklessness and all that. Now we all know these are factors, that lead to tanker crashing and all that. But what is NATO, or what has NATO done in terms of ensuring this, safety consciousness among your members?
NATO members are the owners of the trucks. They are not necessarily the operators of the trucks. Notwithstanding, we used to, from time to time, interface with the owners. I'm coming. Interface with the owners, who eventually will have to discuss with the drivers. But we have direct relationship with the leadership of the drivers. And even tomorrow we'll have a meeting. We meet every month and we discuss the issues. We have training facilities with the drivers. We have health facilities, created health insurance facilities for the drivers. There is also drivers' annual checks and annual bonus, accident-free bonuses. All these are incentives to ensure such kind of things do not occur. But you see, I want to remind you, just like I said, all these incidences are not necessarily directly the cause of the driver. You see, the driver also likes his life like any other person. He has a family like any other person. He has hopes and aspirations like any other person. So I do not want to believe driver will just be. There's nobody who is more conscious of what is carrying highly inflammable product like a driver.
But you heard this is
yes, what she said. What she said. Because most of the time, like she said, or she noted, that they have like 2 or 3 drivers in a truck, and the one that will drive the truck from the depot will not be the one that would take the truck to the destination, because they change. Most of the time you find out that you see all these very young
these are just permutations, let me tell you.
Yeah. Permutations?
Let me tell you. No, you see, the companies, most of the companies that work with drivers have their identifications, they have their tags, then they are properly trained before they go to load. You could say that probably when a vehicle is empty, but not when it is loaded. When it is entirely a difference. Let me tell you, all over the world, there's nobody who is afraid of a gun like a person who is trained-handed. That is like police, SSS, or army. He's more afraid. When I see a gun, the way I look, the way I operate as a novice is quite distinct from a military person, because he knows it more than any other person. So the driver that carries petroleum product, he knows what he's carrying more than any other person. Therefore, he is very careful more than any other person. You should believe me when I said I see 50, 60, 70% of all the causes of this is the condition of the road. Let me tell you, a driver can load and be stationed for more than 6, 7, 8, 10 hours stationary in a vehicle. There's no movement. So in that case, what can he do? He has to be, no matter the fatigue, he has to ensure he passes through before he goes to a safe place. So there are, we have to ensure, just last week you saw a vehicle that loaded about 60,000 liters passing through a Poma or wherever because of the condition of the road. Does that mean the driver does not like his life, or the owner of the vehicle does not like the life of the driver or the content? But because of the condition of the road, how many times have we been clamoring for repairs of especially these major arteries that we ensure the fuel is? We are just trying to get out of the long queues that we've had. If we, in fact, other times, in this time that was the condition of the, we'll just say, okay, we are suspending operations. But in this time, we have learned to understand this. Over time, all this suspension operation does not necessarily lead to us. Yes, of course, it spurs the people in charge to do the action they are supposed to do. But then it doesn't necessarily, because we add a lot of hardship to the populace. So therefore, to a very large extent, we have reduced the issue of going suspension because of this. Because ordinarily, all this thing is supposed to trigger us, spur us to say, look, because of the incessant, like you said, frequent accidents, frequent crashes, it's high time for us to stand still and ensure all these things are fixed, because we cannot continue with this. But yet, we still operate. We know the driver, in this incident, so many people lost their lives, including drivers and every other person, and so many other. The one at Ogun, the vehicle I understood was stationary. I don't know, it was not probably emotional. There could be a lot of reasons for that. But you see, majorly is the condition of the road. And it's the condition of the road that makes even the driver to be fatigued. And also, you see, let me also remind you, the problem we have now, you can have a brand new vehicle passing the road because of the condition of the road. Even the spare part, the brake can fail. The frequent stopping, frequent breakage, and the parts. And apart from being auto president, I am an operator. You can buy spare part today, a brand new brake part, and you fix in a vehicle. Tomorrow you see it can break. I don't know what's happening to Standard Organization of Nigeria. Because all these things, they are supposed to ensure that quality product come to system.
Okay.
Okay. Let's put you on hold.
Okay. Because I mean, a lot of issues have been raised. But let's look at the issues of raising public awareness now concerning all these situations. Especially, we know that the roads, some of these roads are bad, and government, is working to, to rehabilitate and renovate some of these roads. But pending the time that the roads are fixed, what efforts, I mean, is your core, I mean, the making to ensure that public awareness, education, to educate the motorists, the populace on how do they react when they see tankers on the road or big trucks on the road? Do you educate them the kind of speed? How should they overtake all these tankers and all that? Because those are some of the issues that are responsible for all these crashes.
Yes, thank you very much. Like I said earlier, I said we have heightened our public enlightenment. We go to everywhere where we can see people. We go to churches, we go to mosques, we go to parks, we go to everywhere. But the unfortunate thing is that most of the time when you go to parks, even the drivers that you want to talk to, you see them, trying to load their vehicles as if, they will be feeling like, what do you want to say again? We say that a driver that gets home safely is the one that is a professional. Driving is a very noble profession, and we want everybody to take it very serious, because if you've been involved in an accident, it has dented your image. Thank God if you are alive. That's if the person is alive You know, most people, they lost their lives during the course of the accident. But what we tell people anywhere we go to is that you should drive to stay alive. You know, we know that everybody is trying to look for money, look for what to eat. But if you did not drive to stay alive, and you should also be considerate of other road users. So we tell them all this is, we go to everywhere. You know, we go for advocacy visits. Just like now, the commercial has written to all the state governors, you know, for a buy-in, so that even to help us talk to even traditional rulers, you know, people that they can listen to go to them, to talk to them, for them to be patient on the road. Even we are still talking about, even if the roads are not in good condition, let us be patient, because some other vehicles too have passed through the same road. You understand? So please, anybody that is plying the road, just be patient, exercise patience. Then this, for the smaller vehicles, please don't tailgate, don't be struggling the road with the big trucks. And the trucks too should not just look at the smaller vehicles as if they are just insects on the road.
But that's what usually happens. But thank you, DCC Ogudayo. Let's bring Mr. Wikina, who's joining us from Akpajo. And by the way, Akpajo is also of very, very close proximity to Eleme. Mr. Wikina, thank you once again for your patience. We've talked about quite a number of factors, contributory factors to frequent tanker crashes leading to explosions and loss of lives. I know the Eleme. I'm quite familiar with that east-west and Eleme junction, and I know the madness, in quotes, that happens within that axis. I'm also aware that a number of rehabilitation work has been done, or have been done on that particular Eleme junction. Regardless, accidents and very fatal accidents do occur on that road. So my question to you will be, even if, like DCC Ogudayo observed, even if the roads were in excellent condition and the human factor of the tanker drivers are not addressed, we may still experience the kind of accidents we are experiencing today. So which do you think comes first? Is it the human factor, addressing the human factor, or addressing the exogenous factor, which in this case is complete overhaul of our highways?
Claire, this question sounds academic to me, but but like you are familiar with that road. The human factor for me should account for lesser number of the things that happen on that road, because if the road is good, you eliminate the possible areas of contact, which may be the human factor. But however, it's good news. There is cheering news. Just yesterday, I was privileged to be in the press conference addressed by River State for Governor Fubara's 1-year anniversary. I'm not his spokesperson, but they announced that the road running parallel to the east-west road at the Eleme axis, the old Port Harcourt Eleme Nchea Eleme Ibubu Etel road, that they had completed the rehabilitation of that road 100%, and it will be commissioned next week, and that people that, as we speak, that people are using that road, that is providing not just an alternative, but it's even making traffic on that section of the east-west road lighter. Well, you can attribute that to the human angle response to it, but the basic thing which cannot be ruled out is that the neglect of that road, the obvious daily neglect of that road, had caused this problem. Again, I'm not sure that federal officials, particularly, I listen to the road safety and also listen to Ali Alaji. I listen to most of their input. It is not a matter to sit down and discuss. It's a matter that you have to be on the east-west road. Since that incident happened to date, for some days, the contractor stopped work, which I don't think should be the issue, or which I don't think should happen. The contractor should be made to work night and day and night. If that section of the east-west road is completed and you have accidents, then you know that it should be that maybe that place has been jinxed. But Claire, let them fix fix the east-west road, the element section of the east-west road that carries much, much, much heavier load than any other segment of the east-west road, and watch if accidents will still occur. Then we can now say, okay, the issue was not the issue of the road, the issue was not the issue of all this grammar and checking drivers and checking vehicle papers and so on. That, I think, is the solution. Expedited action. If what they were saying, if the contractors or the officials had a time frame of, let's say, 1 year, shorten it, and let the east-west road flow. Thank you so much.
Please, Mr. Wikina, don't go away. We're also looking at other crashes, yes, other axes, not just the LMA. LMA, again, like you said, we don't know if that place is jinxed. You have told us what needs to be done. What are your other views about the similar incidents that happened? You saw, I'm sure you must have seen the incident at Ekpuma.
Yeah, that was very, very tragic and saddening. When I saw it, a lot of things came into my head. That's the driver of that vehicle. It's somebody's father, somebody's husband. The driver of that vehicle, it's a man who was going about his normal daily bread. I don't know whether he survived. I saw people climbing out. But that accident is avoidable. And the only way to avoid it is to ensure that sections of roads, major trunk A roads that had fallen, that had failed, and that are bad, should be fixed. I was privileged, since you live in Abuja, I was privileged to also drive on the Abuja Kanu Road. Man, that road is beautiful. Why can't we have such roads across Nigeria? If we have such, do you have the accents that are in here down? Do you have them in along such roads? No. Sorry that the technical quality of this conversation may be poor because I came out to the car and I'm having this beside a building where vehicles and so on are passing. But I have to go. Okay, have a lovely day. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's release you now, Mr. Wikina, for thank you for your contribution. Let's come back to the studio now. Lawal, well, in order for us to be able to solve this problem or to tackle these challenges, what kind of collaboration do you think is necessary between the tanker drivers, the stakeholders, major stakeholders, government, transport companies, and communities? What kind of collaboration do you think will work, for us to be able to tackle this major challenge that we have now?
Well, we will have to have a unity of purpose, and that collaboration exists because like I said, we collaborate very well between NATO and PTD Nupen, as well as the owners of the fuel, probably IPMA members and MEMAN, as well as the Federal Road Safety Corps. We interface regularly. Like I said, tomorrow we'll have a meeting, which is every month. Even after here, we'll have a meeting with the Federal Road Safety Corps in the respect of other engagements. So we interface regularly and we discuss. The truth of the matter is that these incidences were unfortunate incidences and could be avoidable. But then we look forward, what happens tomorrow? First, we have to be patient in all our activities. Even if you have a fixed road, just like you said, a brand new road or service, you need to be careful, such that you observe speed limit. Most of our vehicles now will have speed limiting devices, but you need to have a good road even to speed very well. So you can't speed. So because of that, such kind of unfortunate incidences happen. Then going forward also, even the spare parts we use, you can buy a brand new spare part and fix it. Before you know, you press brake is gone, and so many other things. So it's just a reflection of what happens in the country. Every person just brings whatever he likes, and no, I am not trying to indict anybody, but I believe as an operator, we face these challenges. You can buy a brand new spare part, you fix it, and it collapses, even if it is a brand new vehicle. So such kind of things also should be put on check. The spare parts that we use, of course, how do you were talking of glasses? Most of the drivers that we employ, to a very large extent, go through lots of checks. And for us that we can work for major energy marketers, the companies themselves, like Total, like OVH, NNPC Retail, now they have training schools, and they have, in the training, they bring doctors to check the well-being of the drivers, which of course includes the eye checks and every other thing, and recommendations. So to a very large extent, except probably those other people who are not working for these major marketers, but I cannot talk about them.
Okay, I want to just to follow up on this, because of I would just want to ask, people have complained about the response time to some of these crashes, that when we have crashes, the response time of government agencies, to mitigate the what is it called now, the loss, is very, very, very slow. What is happening now? Why are we having very slow response?
Thank you very much. There's something they say, information is power.
Yeah.
And that's why we tell people that road safety is everybody's responsibility. For example, if there's a crash on the road, and probably, but there's feasibility, high feasibility of FRC officials on the road. But in case there is a crash, and maybe at that particular time you cannot see any road safety official or whatever, we have a number 122 that we ask people to dial, so that we can quickly get to the nearest command to quickly go and see to that. And our response time, it has even been reduced. It used to be 15 minutes in those days, but now at times even 3 minutes we are there. But we need information, apart from the fact that we are very feasible on the road. But in case we are not there, there is this number 122. It's a toll-free number that anybody can dial, so that we can quickly get there, so that they can quickly get help.
Okay, just before we conclude this discussion, I'd like to bring in Malam Yusuf now. You've told us, how do we recognize drivers, of tanker drivers that are fully loaded? And when we see anyone who does not fit into your criteria, how does one get in touch, or what does one do?
Well, a truck that is highly inflammable articulated vehicle, is whether empty or loaded, is a very risky vehicle, because by the nature of the vehicle you have to be very careful in terms of swerving around.
Yes. So how do we recognize, because you said your drivers have tags.
Do they wear the tags?
Do they wear the tags even while driving, so that when you see any tanker driver without a tag, we know this is not your member?
No, you see, what I mean, before you go into loading, you have to be properly kitted. Most of those that work for major marketing companies, they have to be properly kitted. Some of them with there is this reflective jackets they wear. Some of them even with helmet, with a view to, and when you flash the vehicle, you can, even most of the trucks, they have reflective tapes that you could see this is a highly dangerous vehicle, and somebody should be wearing. You see, there has to be enlightenment generally in the country, irrespective of the way people look at these inflammable vehicles. Not just the commuters, the general public in the whole country. They should be aware a vehicle that is highly inflammable articulated is a vehicle that somebody should take necessary care when moving
very close
on the road.
to avoid.
And if a vehicle crashes, people should be aware that there is danger. There is a possibility the vehicle itself can burst.
All right, Malam Yusuf Lawal, President, Nigerian Association of Road Transport.
No.
Owners. Okay. All right.
Okay. Let's come back to Honey now. Then the issue, he talked about, when people see accidents, what they are supposed to do. So when we have crashes like that, what do you advise that the public should do?
Thank you very much.
Especially with inflammable, trucks.
Yes. With this truck that we're talking about, these tankers, you know, we have seen a lot of times that people will just go around that place, start scooping fuel. And we want to tell you that the fuel you are scooping, it can lead to loss of lives, you know, because the fire may not start immediately, but it can engulf anybody. So please, they should avoid that place. You know, when the security agencies get to such places, you know, they condone that place. So people that doesn't have any business there, they should not come around that place. It's not time to start saying, let me quickly get some food, let me quickly make some money. That might be the end of such a person's life. So we are begging them, we are begging Nigerians, please let us learn this thing, that in case you see any crash, then even for normal crashes, in case you get there, it's not the time to start taking pictures, you know, videoing them. Make a call. That's if our people are not there, which I believe they will always be there. But in case, please, then, because even there are some people that the accident is not too serious, maybe, you know, they still have many things intact, but the way people might want to even carry them, want to assist, might cause another sort of problems to the people they are trying to assist. So it's important that we quickly make call, and everybody should just have a knowledge of this common CPR and you know, first aid treatment that people can easily give. It's good for all Nigerians to have that.
Right. I want to even ask again one more question before we move to other things. The regulatory framework or the legal framework, you know, do you think is adequate enough, you know, to deter all these tanker drivers from reckless driving?
Yes,
Or do we need to,
I think there is need for more regulations, and that's the one I talked about earlier. That the commercial is working, you know, some things out.
Because we need because the drivers need to be, you know,
because henceforth they'll be prosecuted. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know, people talk about the fines. It's not only about the fines. We are not on the road really because of the fines, because life is more important. We are on the road for safety of lives and property. You know, I know a situation whereby you have met somebody making call while driving, and you are asking the person, no, it's not good. He said, no, it's my life. And we tell them we are interested in your lives because we are on the road to save lives. So everybody should just know this thing, that as you are going on the road, be safety conscious, because only the living celebrate.
I'm also wondering, I don't know if both the FRSC and the, you know, transport owners are also considering. I know you guys have the resources to even, you know, undertake this. I'm wondering if there is, if any one of you is contemplating technological solution to tracking, you know, some of these accidents even before they happen.
Well, you cannot expect accident to happen. All our trucks are tracked. They have tracking devices, and you could see wherever they are. But the truth of the matter, accident happens like it's said, accident. It happens, you know, unexpected. So that's circumstance that's not changing. The only thing is that, like I said, if a truck crashes, you see there are certain situations a truck will crash, the tank did not open, the tank did not burst, but the general public will force it open in order to scoop whatever, and by that it can lead to fire, because already the everywhere of the vehicle is hot, and when you force it open, the fuel naturally
But
spoils.
you track your vehicles to know where they are,
Yes.
not for safety or prevention purposes.
But how do you track for safety? Because you cannot track
There
a
are
vehicle and say
technologies.
accident.
Yes, there are technologies. There are technologies.
Like GPS and all
Yes.
that.
Yes, there
that
is
you
GPS,
use.
but accident is accident. Nobody would know that accident is going to happen. Just like this vehicle that crashed around Epoma. You saw the vehicle coming clearly, but you wouldn't know that the vehicle will crash. The only thing is probably the driver, because of the swampy area, could have stopped. But you see, he is not the only one behind. There are a lot of vehicles behind, and probably pressurizing, move before you know, and probably some other vehicle must have passed by before him. So such kind of incidences, you see, accident like it is cold, it's accident. It can happen unexpected.
Okay.
The only thing is that we should try to be careful in, not just the driver or the owner, the whole general public should be wary. They should be careful in their approach, especially if they are approaching highly inflammable vehicle, because it's time bomb.
Thank you very much for that, your contribution there. We should all be careful, especially when we see these highly inflammable trucks on the road. Thank you very much. This is where we have to draw the curtain on this discussion. And Yusuf Lawal is the president, Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, NATO. Thanks for coming on Good Morning Nigeria this morning. I also want to thank Honey Ogundayo, DCC Core Public Relations Office. Thank you for coming on Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank you, but let me also say that we are looking at technology. Yes,
Okay.
we are looking at it.
You
We started already.
You have to employ technology
Yes.
to handle issues.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, we'll take a break now, and when we come back, our second conversation on the longest reigning king in Nigeria. Stay with us.